Right. So now we'll just get started across with the presentation itself. So quickly introducing you the topic for today, we will be looking at advanced placements, but not the regular sessions that I do with the overall, topic going into various other details around AP. Today it's going to be it's an in-depth session around computer sciences. So we will be discussing the two APs that are available within computer sciences. Avni will be taking that section. I would be largely running you through about APs, what they are, how important. So all of those things would be discussed across by me. And as I've said even before, that please just use the chat section to drop any questions. We would be having a single flow towards the whole presentations, and all of the questions will be answered during the Q&A time. Right. Now, just quickly moving on to the next slide, which is around the flow of our presentation today, or we call it the session roadmap. I will take you through what an AP is, why is it important, what are the all AP courses available, and an AP checkpoint and milestones that we believe a student should keep in mind while you will be planning for APs in 2026. Then we'll go into the real part of the presentation today, looking at CSA and P. We will be looking at the curriculum structure, the exam pattern, Java, and a little understanding over a hands-on project, which Avni would be taking you through. Post which I'll give you an overall approach as we do in all of our sessions along with the resources. Now, before we move into the whole topic of, APs, to quickly give you an understanding about Let's Unbound. Let's Unbound began with a focus on skill building and empowering elementary and middle school students with STEM, life skills, and mentorship. As these students then progressed to high school, they started seeking for college admissions guidance, and that's where we listened. We evolved our services to seamlessly integrate storytelling through applications in our already well-established mentoring programs. Now, by combining personalized learning, skill development, and strategic admission support, we now guide students right from early academic years to top global universities. Today, we have impacted more than 4,000 students across 25 countries and have delivered more than 125,000 hours of expert mentoring. Our commitment to excellence has earned us a 4.9 out of the 5 global rating. We have, partnered with organizations as Harvard Students Agencies, Arizona State University, Prep Digital, which really ensures that the students receive the world-class educational experience while preparing for admissions abroad. So at Let's Unbound, we don't just prepare students for exams or admissions, we prepare them for life within university and beyond. Our visionaries, the founders who have gotten the organization started, you could see Amol on the left. He is a serial entrepreneur. He is an education visionary with an experience across Tata and Exceed, which is India's largest ed tech platform. Amol has helped scale impactful education solutions across more than 2,000 schools across 6 countries, impacting more than 250,000 students. He's really known for his ability to blend business thinking with on-ground school realities and has been instrumental at helping startups from IIT Bombay and beyond. On your right, you have Professor Nishant Chawla, who's a mentor and educator, and the brains behind many of the learning pathways that you'll also see Avni share today. With 14 plus years of experience across academy and industry, he has counseled more than 1,000 students and has designed curriculum solutions from K-12 to executive MBA programs. Right. So he is being a proud member of Niti Aayog itself, right? Under Mentor of Change under Atal Innovation Mission. He's also an alumnus of SVJAM. Now, just moving across to my own introduction. So I have spent the last decade plus within consultancy, investments, and edtech. I started my professional journey with Jaguar Land Rover and then moved with Citibank and Standard Charter. I have also worked very extensively within the education space with Crimson Education and Added Education. And now I currently work across with Let's Unbound. Now, moving further, to the presentation itself, post the introduction. So the whole question now, before I will hand it over to Avni to take you specifically into the details of the APs, the first question that really arises in our presentation today is what exactly is an AP? So advanced placement is a program which is created by College Board, right? The same organization that conducts SAT is the same organization that has created your advanced placement that really invites high school students to dive into university coursework while they're still in school. There are 38 different subjects, everything from calculus to psychology, and very specifically, as we'll be discussing today, computer science. And you do also have options within history and music and research. So at the end of the year, each student sits, a 2 to 3 hour exam, which is scored in a 5 point scale, right? It's not a percentage score, it's a scale score. So a 4 or a 5 isn't, let's say just a percentage that comes across. And it's not just to showcase that, you're great at a certain subject, but these numbers, they often convert directly into university credits, or, you have completed a couple of courses even before you have started with your undergraduation. So now you might be wondering, how do parents or families in India care? Now, AP scores would act as, let's say, a global benchmark for your CBSE and ICSE grades. As a matter of fact, if you apply to a couple of universities in UK for medical, they may ask you to give a minimum amount of APs before you get the admission, because these APs would give you a standardized score result on a global level, across boards, across cities, and across continents. So for you having a strong AP result, even let's suppose you're not applying to medicine, you're applying for any degree within USA, it really does give your grades a global benchmarking. Now, just moving further into, after this defining what an advanced placement is, what do they really offer? So, what are the reasons that you'd be also taking somewhere around that? So one of those first things is the academic challenge in preparation for high school that I'd also mentioned. So AP courses provide you with the opportunity to tackle challenging material that mirrors the rigor of college level coursework. This isn't about just mastering a subject, as I've said, it's about preparing you for the intellectual demands and critical thinking required for the higher education within USA. So by engaging with complex topics earlier, you are building a real strong foundation for your undergraduation academic success. Now, the other aspect is the opportunity to earn college credits or advanced placements, right? So another major advantage of AP courses is the course to earn college credits or also secure an advanced placement. Excelling on an AP exams can translate into credits that directly reduce your college course load. You could either save money, or even you're also allowed to bypass a few introductory courses once you're in campus, which benefits you to be also focusing on other areas beyond your core subject. Now, beyond these two aspects, let's even talk in terms of admissions. A competitive edge it gives you that competitive edge within college admissions itself. So finally, AP courses give you that competitive edge during the college admissions process. College recognizes that students who have taken AP courses are really ready to handle that rigorous coursework. Your performance in these classes send the right kind of powerful message to those admissions committees that you're motivated, you're capable, and are looking to find challenges that are beyond the school level, which is typically expected of you. So all of these aspects are very important. And as we move through the sessions, do keep these points in your mind. AP courses aren't just about earning a grade. They're about embracing a challenge, right? It's opening doors to a future academic, opportunity for yourself, and also putting you in a position in which you could be really controlling your overall undergraduation experience going abroad. Now, let's move on to the next topic, which is, why is AP so important? So we've already gone through this one point of saying, it helps you earn college credits. So this means largely you've got this potential to skip an introductory course, or you could also graduate earlier, which is giving you a significant head start within your whole college journey. It is also a very good tool to profile build for college admissions. It's extremely good in terms of cost saving and saving tuition fees. And as I've said, it enables you to graduate early, or it leaves you a good time for internship and research to really expand across on your undergraduation experience. Now, just moving across to which are all of the APs which are on offer. So these are one set within arts, English, history, and social sciences, and also the interdisciplinary. Along with them, you do also have the ones in sciences and computer sciences, and also you've got all of those options within world, language, and cultures. So you could select APs right across from both of these slides that I've just shown you. And you could show them for the rigor and all of those benefits that I've typically spoken across. Now, I'll quickly just move on to the last part of this introduction. This timeline is very important for students who are looking to apply next year, to appear next year. Your regular registration for APs will start in October to mid-November. Your average cost for an AP is $128. If you then opt for a late registration, which runs from November to mid-March, there's an extra cost of $40 per examination. You're largely going to be preparing. I would rather say the day you register, you start preparing for it, and then you would be giving the exam in the second week of May. So that's the overall, timeline towards AP itself. Now I'll just hand over the presentation to Avni. Right, Avni, I'm just stopping my share. You can then share your screen
Sure.
and run through AP Computer Science in depth. Right, thank you.
So let me give a quick introduction about myself first. So I am Avni Goyal and I am the senior mentor at Let's Unbound. And today we are talking about the APCS courses based on the computer science, which is the first one, APCSP, which is the principles, and the second is APCSA. So we're going to talk about these two courses. We will be comparing these two courses, that what in which scenarios you should go with the first one or with the second one. And I'll give you a quick glimpse of how an actual Java program works and how it can be beneficial, not only for this exam to crack, but even in the real life scenarios to create up your own projects, or maybe any websites. Let's say if some student is interested in programming or coding, so they can create their own websites out of it. So let me go ahead and show the first slide of it. Okay. So the first is the comparison, that who should take which particular course out of these two. Both are based on the computer science, but again, if the student is kind of very beginner in programming, who is scared about, okay, I don't know any kind of languages, Python, Java, or any other language, so the APCSP is very beginner friendly. It is majorly based on the pseudo codes, so of course that student will be very familiar with how a basic programming works, so that it's all about the basic structures like internet, about data, about networking. So it talks about the deep understanding, but of the overall computer concepts. But when it comes to computer science A, it is all about coding, programming, and when you're good with little decent amount of programming or coding, then it is a very good option for jumping into APCSA. Again, great opportunities come with it, not just APCSA examination, but again, we can build up our own projects, websites like Amazon, Flipkart, any other like websites we can create using those programming languages. So again, I give the prompt here that if you are beginner, go for APCSP. And if you are a little advanced or more about programming, writing codes, so definitely go with APCSA. When we talk about APCSP, it is all about pseudocode. So it's not about you need to learn any programming language. We can do with the block coding as well. But when it comes to APCSA, it's all about the language, as I said. So we will go ahead with Java as one of the languages, which is needed for APCSA to cover. So let me go to the next slide. Let me show you how or what all is there in APCSP. So actually there are two sections. The first section talks about the MCQs. So MCQs are all about these 5 units which are mentioned over here. along with the weightage. So this would be around 2 hours of examination. That is the first section of it. It would be basic about the programming, about the computer concepts, about the impact or the creative development, like the basics of computers. The next section is very interactive in terms of a little hands-on coding. If you are still a beginner, definitely go for it. So if you see the second section, it has two parts in it. One is the create performance task. So it is like we will be creating a program, a project, a small project, which we will be offering them the program code. We will be creating a short video for it for the submission, and we will create the PPR, project personalized reference. That is some screenshots we will be adding to the AP digital portfolio website for the college board. So this is the first part of it. And the second part, once the project work is over, we will deep dive into the 4 FRQs based on the same project that we did. So there are 4 major prompts which the college board or AP portfolio mentions. So based on that, whatever project we are building up, like using any either, if you're good with programming, we can go with Python or any other language. If not, if you are a beginner and you want to deep dive into the block coding, so definitely that is good to go. So we can go and create that performance task using it. And if you see on the right hand side, the third unit, algorithms and programming, has the highest weightage. So the main purpose of the computer science courses is to know the logic behind everything, the algorithms, how the functionalities work around it. Let me show you a sample project. So this is one of the sample project one student created using Python as their language, as a beginner friendly. Of course, this can be done with the block coding as well. So this is the one, and this is based on the screen time. This project is based on the screen time, that based on the age, based on the number of hours he or she is giving on the social media daily and all the other factors, what is the exact scenario for that student, like how much time he should denote or how much time he is denoting. And these are the tips which are mentioned here. So he or she can basically do to reduce the time which they are giving on the social media. So because it says 3 to 6 hours, so the graph is little on the higher side. If that would be only less than 1 hour, so it would be a good option. So just a screen time visualization application. The second application, again, a sample project. So this is a music system, a music mix system. So we have these music icons. If we click and mix it, so this way we can go ahead and mix the sounds of each instrument out there. So again, a project, it could be any project. If you are interested in the gaming, we can go with the gaming project. If you are interested with solving a real life problem, like creating some calculators or advanced calculators or any other issues, we can definitely go for it and create a project. That could be useful, not just only for the project work, but also for you later on showing up that project in your schools, in your colleges, and etc. So this is that music mix application. Again, it has multiple options, and you can see the code over here. It is written in the Python language. So I'll move again to the next slide. Now, talking about AP CSA, if the student is good little with programming, or maybe the student wants to deep dive into the programming. He's interested in the technical languages and more into the AI side and everything. So definitely go for AP CSA, because here we can go and write our own programming codes. We can know the logics. There is a concept called object-oriented programming. We can definitely deep dive into that, because the questions will again be coming around how we can optimize the code the best way out of it. So here again, we have 2 sections. One is the overview of it, like telling about the Java programming, the focus and everything. And the second section, that is your actual exam pattern, which has 40 MCQs and 4 FRQs. So this is going to be how an examination would look like. First, we will be covering the basic Java. Second, we will be covering the OOPS concept. OOPS concept is object-oriented programming and a little bit of the data structures so that it will boost your programming knowledge and as well as the exam structure completion. And again, in the exam pattern, we have these two sections. One is MCQs and second is the FRQs. Again, both have equal amount of weightage, so both are equally important. And again, 3 hours of examination would be there. And just one more thing, basically these examinations will go, like earlier it was on the paper, but right now at the moment, from past few years, it is on the platform Blue Book. So again, everything would be digital. You can give the examination on the Blue Book platform using the AP College Board platform, which they offer. So now let's deep dive into the AP CSA curriculum. So here are the 10 units which are there in Java to know about from the basics to the advance of it, knowing about the object-oriented programming and a little bit of the data structures. So again, the weightage is also mentioned for each one of them. And if you see, the most important one out of these is the unit 3 and unit 4, which is the Boolean statements and the iterations. So Boolean statements are nothing but conditions, like if this happens, we'll do this. If that happens. So every functionality, every website has conditional work. Similarly, the iterations. So iterations are nothing but looping. If you want to loop and do the same work again and again. So I'll show you everything in detail, but this is like an overview, which I'm showing you as of now. Let me show you the next slide. Okay, starting from here, just a brief intro about APCSA, how a basic code works. I'm going to now show you that a little bit so that you guys are familiar with it, that this is how the course would look like. So first, because we are learning Java, so again, as I said, it's not about only the APCSA. You can create your own Android apps. You can go into the web development and create your own websites. You can go in the banking side, like you can create the banking systems, banking websites. And again, a very great programming language to build in any of your projects to showcase in your schools, in your colleges, and maybe later on to get the jobs as well. So here are the 5 key concepts based on the weightage. As I told you, conditionals is one of them, loops is one of them, object-oriented is one of them. And these are the basic things that we should need to know for applying for APCSA. Like we will get to know about all these things. I'll give you a quick glimpse of each one of that. So starting from a basic Java program, I'll show you a real glimpse of it. So this is how a basic Java program looks like. I'll show you by running on the compiler though. So this is a Java compiler looks like. Of course, you can have the online versions of Java compiler so that you can write your code there, or you can have the software downloaded. So I'll guide you with each and every step that how we can download that compiler. Compiler is nothing but where you will, the platform where we are going to write up the code so that we can run it smoothly. So right now I am using the online one. So I wrote a simple basic Java program which prints a line. This is a basic syntax to print anything in Java. So if I run it from here, you would see the basic Java program running and it says, welcome to Let's Unbound, which is the message I want to print out. So this is a small first Hello World program or a basic program to get into the Java. So again, everything which I wrote here has a meaning, every keyword. We will get into all of this. But right now, my motive is to give an intro to you, like this is how a basic things look like in Java. Next, I'll show you the second part, which is variables. So as we are looking into how we can print a statement in Java, I'll show you that it's not always we are printing something at the same time. we need to sometimes store the value also for later use. So we would create the variables for that. Variables are nothing but, we are just saying that it's like a container in which we are storing something so that we can reuse it later. So I'll show you that here. So what I did is I created a variable, which is age, and I stored a value inside it. What is this int here? Int is nothing but integers. So whenever we are talking about numeric value, a number value, so that is always an integer value. So we need to define in Java that what kind of value it is. So it's an integer value and it's a container in which I am storing a number. Similarly, if you have a word, an alphabet, or a sentence that is called as string, not in Java, but also in Python, C++, or any other languages you see around. So whenever you have group of words, group of characters, group of alphabets, whatever you can call them, is known as string. So you have another variable where you are storing things, and then you can print those variables. See, the name is getting printed. If I run it, I'll show you. Name, which is Alex, is getting printed. Is as a message remains as it is. Age has 16. So 16 is getting printed. And this, whatever is inside the inverted commas, will print as it is there. So again, this is how you can create your own variables, store them, and use it any in the future use. So this is all about containers. This is all about variables. You might have seen that I stored integer value, which is a numeric value. You saw string value, which is group of alphabets. I'll show you one more now, which is from here, double. So I'll show you this code. See, it says double GPA is equal to 3.9. So again, this is some kind of data. What kind of data? It is, if you see, decimal data. So whenever in Java, in Python, in any language, if you have, I'll show you from here. If you have any kind of value which is decimal, so you have two data types. One is double. So if you run it, it would be perfectly running here. Oh. So it has some issue. Let's rerun it. This is some, okay. I'll remove this. Let's say this thing. There was some issue in the code, so I'll just quickly fix it. Okay, now it should work. Let's try again. There we go. So you can see we have a variable. This time this is of double. Double is nothing but decimals. So I'll show you. Actually, we have 5 types. Oh, come on. Not this. Okay. Coming back. So we have actually 5 types. Int is integers. Double is for decimal values. String for any kind of alphabets, words, strings are that one. Then you have character. Character is nothing but one single alphabet at a time. And then the last one is Boolean. Boolean is nothing but true and false, like this or that, or maybe true and false could be the right word, because if the condition is true, you will do the work. If the condition is not true, maybe you will not do the work. So a conditional based thing. So true and false comes under the Boolean values, 0 or 1. Maybe you can talk in terms of 0 or 1. So majority wise, we have these 5 types of data available in Java or in any other language. The next is, again, the next topic is conditional statements. So the Boolean data type that we just saw is based on this only, that if you don't want to print that line every single time, but you have a condition that if that condition satisfies, then only I'm going to run it. Otherwise, I'm not going to run it. So I'll show you now this part of it. So this part is here. So if whatever I will write in the brackets, if that is true, that's going to run. If that is not true, it's not going to run. So I know there are some symbols that you might not are aware. So let me give you a easy relevant, let's say 3 greater than 8 or 3 greater than 2. So we know that this is the right condition. So 3 is definitely greater than 2. So because it is greater, so that means this is a true condition. And because it is true condition, so this print statement should definitely work. Let's try printing it. I'll say hello. So I'll only print hello if that condition is true. So if I run it, it should say hello. But if I change my condition and I make this as 20, which is again not greater and not true, so it should not work. So if I run it and you see, it will not execute and not do any other stuff because this is based on some condition. If that condition is true, it's going to work. If that is not true, it's not going to work. So this is again all about the conditional statements. So there are loops here. There are, okay, this is important. See, every concept I am going to discuss in detail, of course, but because of this short period of time, let me show you a quick sample FRQ that would be important for like your reference for like the APCSA examination. So this one says that you need to create a function for even numbers. So for even numbers, if you see here, they are creating a variable, a container in which they are storing 0 as the value. They're running a for. For is nothing but a loop so that they can run the loop repetitively for a particular period of task and do the work instead of writing that same stuff again and again. Then they're using a if condition again. So for checking if that number is even or if that is divisible by 2, because if that divisible by 2, then it's an even number. And then they are using something count plus plus. So plus plus is actually nothing but plus 1 to it. That yes, it is an even number. So we will increase the count. Because it is divisible by 2, we will increase the count because that will be an even number. And once the basic work is done, we will return the count that yes, okay, I have this much amount of count for the even numbers. So again, a basic good small function which came in the last years of FRQs for APCSA. So I'll go to the next slide and I think I'm just done. So I'll give a quick brief about what we have discussed today. So we covered the comparison of AP courses, the APCSP and APCSA. If you are beginner, definitely go for APCSP. It will have a hands-on project. It will have MCQs. You will talk about the data. You will talk about internet, networking, etc. If you want to go ahead and deep dive into the programming, coding, go for APCSA with Java as the language. Both will use the College Board website, College Board portfolio website for submitting the works maybe, or for applying, or for the examination, it would be the Blue Book application out there. Then we saw a basic Java syntax for printing anything, printing any message out there. And I showed you how variables work. Loops is something repetitive going on. Repetitive is nothing but repeating something. And the conditionals, based on some conditions, we can go ahead with that work. If not true, we will not go ahead with that. And the last one was a real FRQ style question, that this is how we will be writing the programs in the examination for cracking it a 5 out of 5 examination. So I'll hand over the slides back to Faraz for the later. Yeah.
Right. So I guess you guys can see my screen. Cool. So now I'll just start across with our now approach. as we would be moving now into how do you really handle the whole APs and what are the suggestions coming across from Let's Unbound. So in terms of the students that work with us, we do give them this roadmap in which we start across with an AP diagnostic, right? It is there to assess the students' primary skills in the topic and to really see how they can move towards the desired score. The second thing that comes across is a personalized study plan. So post the assessment of the skills that the student does possess, we look at how to, make the plan which moves them across to the right kind of the grade. And we do all of our mentoring, even within APs in a one-on-one style. And we will be giving you exclusive strategy sessions in understanding how to best tackle and get those fours and fives within APs. And at the same time, you do also have sectional and full length mock tests. The three pillars, as we always say with all exams, it's accuracy, it's speed, and it's exam strategy and stamina, right? It is going to be going between 2 hours to 3 hours, but at the same time, it is not as if it's a relaxing paper. You would have a very good or a very strong, competition against time itself. And at the same time, making sure that you are keeping the accuracy correct. So practice again, even within this arena, is the key for success. Now, beyond APs, we do also help students in all of these various topics. So within academic test prep, within profile building, within admission preparation. So within Let's Unbound, you would be getting the complete solution within your admissions guidance, right? What the AP lab itself is, it's more of these various aspects, as I've already told you. The way we help students to prepare in terms of a personalized format, we would really back ourselves with decades of research. And we've got a three-tiered preparation system, which is very structured in taking a student from basic to advanced concept. Right. Now, just moving across, this is a quick example of those various AP programs that we do have, where you get 90 to 100 hours of foundation and prep strategy, along with that 40 to 50 hours of contact hours with live tutoring and mock test analysis. And along with that, you do have 50 self-learning hours with notes and practice sheets. Along with that, you do also get 60 hours of mock tests, which are 10 full-length mocks and 10 sectional mock tests as well. Right. Now, quickly, some success stories of students who have worked with us. So, a student had joined us in grade 11 with minimal knowledge with Java and reached out 3 months before his AP CSA. So, while he was packed with all of the other work and preparations for admissions, he prepared with us and got a 4 out of 5 on the AP Computer Science A examination. Now, this is another student within psychology. So, same situation within grade 11, had seen us just 2 months before his AP psychology, and by the end had clocked a 5 out of 5 on the exam within 60 days. So, these are again just those similar examples of students who have worked with us 60 days, 90 days, and have managed to get a 4 or a 5. Now, the resources. So one of these first things that we always are now really pushing across, because APs is definitely a thing that people would be registering for. So you could just scan on this QR code and you could register for an AP session and a diagnostic session as well. Right. Along with the option for registering for those APs, you could also just log in all next week to those various topics that we do. So like this week we were in within APs. The last week we had taken a deep dive within SAT for reading and writing. Within the coming week we will be going into a new interesting topic. Along with that, we also do use our newsletters, which you could access through the QR code on the screen below, or I'd also add up the link on the chat section. So you could access these newsletters. They will take you into various points and topics within admission preparation itself, AP, SAT, research papers, internships. So you could really get a good understanding and knowledge over the overall admission criterias. Along with the newsletters, we are also on these two platforms within podcasts. You could you could see videos of students who have worked with us in the past, and along with that, this one platform of WhatsApp. At the end, just before opening the session for Q&As, you could join our AP prep classes by accessing this QR code on your screen. Right. So this brings us to the end of our presentation, and we are just opening it up for the Q&A section. If there are any questions, I'll just be seeing the chat section now. So if there's anything that you'd like to know, you could just drop it there, and me and Avni would give the best possible answer within our knowledge across on it. Right. So if there are any questions, you could quickly post it now. Otherwise, we would be then concluding for the day. Right. I suppose there are not further any questions. So we're just closing across the meeting. Thank you, Avni, for the explanation within your section. Thank you for everyone joining us across, and see you next week. Thank you.